Welcome back to the Transform Your Mind to Transform Your Life, the podcast. You are listening to 5-Minute Fridays with Coach Myrna. Today, I want to talk on the topic, traits of a virtuous woman. One of my favorite Bible stories is the story of Ruth and Naomi. The story is told that Naomi, Ruth's mother-in-law, had huge losses. Her husband died, as well as her 2 sons, leaving her with no money. She said that the Lord made her life very bitter and caused her to suffer. So Naomi decided to return home to Bethlehem in Judah because the Lord had blessed Judah with grain. Naomi blessed her daughters-in-law and sent them back home to their families, but Ruth clung to her, refusing to leave. Naomi and Ruth then moved to Judah, where Naomi told Ruth to go work in the fields of Boaz, a very wealthy man. Boaz noticed this strange woman working hard in the fields and inquired who she was. He was told that she was the young woman who came back with Naomi. Boaz was impressed with what he heard about this virtuous woman and told his workers to treat her kindly and drop bundles of grain on the ground on purpose so that she can pick them up. Ruth worked throughout the barley and harvest season, and then Naomi decided that it was time to get her a husband. She gave Ruth instructions on what to do, and Ruth did everything her mother-in-law told her to do. She bathed, put on her best dress, applied perfume, and lay at the feet of Boaz. This was a submissive gesture. Boaz woke up and accepted the offer, blessing her for not going after a younger and richer man. The story ends with Boaz marrying Ruth, and Ruth became in line or part of the lineage of Jesus, because her son Obed was the grandfather of David. So why am I telling you this story? Boaz called Ruth a virtuous woman. What are the traits of a virtuous woman, and why should you want to become a virtuous woman? In this story, Ruth was called a virtuous woman because she was loyal to her mother-in-law. She was willing to work. She was willing to leave her home and be a foreigner in another land. And most importantly, she did everything her mother-in-law told her to do. So let's fast forward. What are the modern day traits of a virtuous woman? Not far different. A virtuous woman cares for her family. She's a hard worker. While she toils faithfully in meeting the needs of her own family, she also doesn't forget to help other needy people that God brings across her path. She's not selfish and self-serving. A virtuous woman also takes the time to look after her own health and be a good steward of her body. Put on your mask first before you can be help to anyone else. Basically, that's what that says. So why do you want to become a virtuous woman? What are the benefits? So let's go to Aristotle. Aristotle says that the key to happiness is the practice of virtue, because virtue is in accord with human reason. Aristotle also stated that we can reach minor states of happiness through money, power, or fame, but ultimate happiness can only be reached through the practice of virtue. Well, we all know that, right? That money and fame and those things does not bring happiness. Maybe they bring it for a short little while, and then, of course, they disappear. So what he's saying, that if you're virtuous and you make the right decisions, right, then happiness will be part of your psyche, right? A virtuous woman also has character traits such as honesty, chastity, courage, and generosity. Virtue theorists believe that if we concentrate on being righteous people, the right actions will follow. In other words, The people with the right character tend to make the right decisions. That's what I just said a minute ago, right? If you're virtuous, you'll make the right decisions. And what causes us unhappiness? Making the wrong decisions, bonehead decisions, as we call it, right? But if you're virtuous, then you make the right decisions. And also pay attention to that word chastity. That's basically what we think a virtuous woman is. Somebody that has chastity, and she's virtuous because she holds her body as her temple. So I hope that you're encouraged today that when you become a virtuous woman, happiness shall find you, or happiness will be your state always. So thanks for tuning in to 5 Minute Fridays with Coach Myrna. I hope you were encouraged today, and I hope to see you back right here next week, same time, for another episode of 5 Minute Fridays with Coach Myrna. Until next time, namaste.